All right, if you're tuning into the newest feed, let us know if you can hear us.
All right.
All right, joining us now from the Yuma County Sheriff's Office, we're going to be talking about Tales from the Jail. That's the unofficial title of what we're just giving it.
Oh, you should have heard her coming up with some names for the segment yesterday. It was great.
We have Lieutenant Cooper joining us. Good morning.
Good morning.
And we also have Senior Detention Officer Revelis here in the studio.
Good morning.
It's a pleasure to have you both here. Now, we thought it would be interesting to talk about what a typical day might look like for a detention officer. If people are listening and they're interested in possibly pursuing that as a career. Give us a little bit and tell us about both of your backgrounds as detention officers.
I started my career in the prison system for about 11 years through that, and then I moved to Yuma, and while here in Yuma, I went to work for the sheriff's office. Spent a few years as a correctional officer in the day-to-day routines. You come in and make sure that care, custody, and control. So you make sure everybody is okay, they're doing better than what they were when they came into custody. You help with the rehabilitation aspect of them, move through that day-to-day process. Moved into the SDO rank, helped out in the booking area for a long time, with sergeant, ran the floor, and then finally promoted to lieutenant.
How long have you been with the sheriff's office?
6.5 years.
Okay.
Wow.
So you've got almost 17 years in corrections.
Pretty close to it.
Overall, though. Now, what did you notice that the big difference was between the Department of Corrections and then a jail, a county jail?
You have much more interaction. That's a smaller group interaction in the jail. The rehabilitation aspect for the officers to prisoner ratio is much, much greater in the jail setting than it is the prison setting. So that's been a good thing. I've enjoyed that much more than what it was in the prison setting, is being able to have smaller group communications with prisoners and try to help them progress, because most people come in at a low point. And if you spend that time and try to help them, just a lot of times talking to them helps a lot out. And there's been a few cases where we've seen people grow inside the jail. One of the recent ones is we actually had someone come in that did not have a high school diploma. Our educational processes went through, gave him all of his classwork, his classes, and actually got him his high school diploma while he was in custody.
Wow. That's awesome. I never knew that a service like that would be provided.
So that was a lot of hard work to our educational department, our programming areas, and our DOs. They had a big portion in that because they were making sure that he was getting the writing materials, the reading materials, keep him up on all the documentation that goes into it.
That's amazing, because you ultimately you don't want those people to come back. And if you're bettering their lives while they're in there, chances are they're going to succeed when they get out.
Right. That's the largest part, is trying to get that rehabilitation aspect.
Mm-hmm. And you're right. You see people often at their lowest when they come into the jail. And if you can find some way to improve situations, then why wouldn't you? If it's something that can be corrected upon.
Absolutely.
All right. Well, Senior Detention Officer Revelis, how long have you been with the Yuma County Sheriff's Office?
I have actually been there longer than he has.
Oh, okay.
I got hired in 2010 and eventually worked different areas within the jail. I did internal investigations, I worked the maximum housing unit, and eventually I promoted to Senior Detention Officer.
And did you find that people were maybe within your social circle, family and friends, were they trying to talk you out of this career, or were they very encouraging?
A little bit of both. I said I'm gonna go ahead and do this, and I did. I really didn't seek anybody's approval.
You were just saying, hey, this is what I'm gonna do.
And this is what I'm gonna do. And initially, I wanted to promote to deputy, but I didn't. I like the jail, and I still do. So I decided to stay.
And you've been there since
And
2010.
I've been there since 2010.
And we have a lot of female detention officers too.
We have quite a bit. We do.
And do you work with the female prisoners that are there?
Well, right now I'm assigned to the Detention Academy Training Director,
Okay.
Academy Director. So as of right now, I don't work with the prisoners.
Okay.
But the females on the floor, we work with the females, with the males. So
Okay.
It doesn't really matter.
It doesn't.
For somebody that's looking at a career in as a detention officer, what does that entail? Like, where do they start?
As far as
The process.
Education, the process of how to get
I'm
that
interested
started.
in doing this. How do I get the ball rolling?
so high school diploma, GED, 18-year-olds, they can apply. They have to go through now it's an 8-week academy, so they're going to have to go through the 8-week academy. They're going to have to be, be plain tased, OC,
Okay.
Just
You need to experience those different things.
yes.
All right. And details about the application process are available on the Yuma County Sheriff's Office website.
Yes.
If you're interested in just reading, see what those prerequisites are. Again, it might be for you, it might not be for you, but maybe you know someone you're like, that sounds like the perfect opportunity. Now, kind of, Lieutenant Cooper, walk us through the process. When someone comes into the jail, what happens? What's that first step? They've been arrested and they're brought in.
They come into our booking section. They're set out. We do the photographs, the fingerprints. We run through a questionnaire with them just to get their initial assessment when they come in. From there, our booking officer kind of determines what their custody or classification is going to be. And then they go into the main part of the jail. They're in there. Now the detention officers at that point take over. And we continue that care, custody, and control. We check on them every 15 minutes, 15 to 25 minutes, depending on the area in which they're currently housed. And they basically go through and meet all their basic needs to ensure that they're being met on a day-to-day aspect. We make sure they get their breakfast, their lunch, their dinner, any medical needs that happen. A lot of people wind up coming into custody with medical concerns, whether it be a younger generation or the older population that comes in. So we have, our medical department is extensive, and they do a lot of work with them as they go through in the housing units and make sure that they're in better health while they're in custody and they leave than when they came in.
Now, because the jail has been an interesting kind of place during the pandemic, how are things different in perhaps the quarantine process when they first come in? Someone is brought in and they're booked. From there, do they go into quarantine? Are they tested? How's that work?
No, absolutely. We still have a, not necessarily a quarantine, but individual celled housing. Currently, prior we had dormitory style intake housing. Now it's single celled. You come into custody, you'll be placed in a cell, and you'll do the isolation process to ensure that you don't have any flu-like symptoms.
Okay.
And once that goes through the process, you're good to go and you're healthy. You're classified and moved to the appropriate housing.
Right. Well, it's very different than other lines of work. Again, you were interested in becoming a deputy, and you found that you're happy on the detention side of things.
I am very happy there.
Now, for the 8-week detention academy, is that also through Arizona Western College, or is it going to be migrating that way?
We are transitioning
Okay.
into Arizona at Work through AWC. Yes.
When we had Sheriff and Alfonso Zavala on, they were talking about that, but I didn't know when exactly that was going to be happening.
So we have an academy starting Monday, April 4th, and that's actually going to be the first detention officer training academy through AWC. So
Okay.
that's going to be our first one.
Well, it's been remarkable. I know they just graduated the largest class yet here a week or so ago through the academy out there. So it's a phenomenal partnership. And again, we're hoping that it brings, many more viable candidates to the door of the detention center here in our community.
One of the things that SDO Revelis has worked with some of the other correctional agencies around is we're now doing DOC lateral transfers. So anybody that currently works for the Department of Corrections that's looking to move elsewhere, we have a lateral transfer process to the jail if they want to continue down that process.
And like you shared your experience too, it's different.
Very much so.
A lot of the Common Core things have got to be similar, but when it comes down to, again, you don't have the multiple units, the large sizes that you're dealing with at the state or the federal level, or we have multiple facilities within our area, and they're all pretty large. But again, it's an interesting thing to just learn about the day-to-day kind of processes involving the jail.
And since we do have, quite a few of these different locations near us, we do have a lot of people in our community that have chosen this profession. But we always can use that extra help and the new blood in there. And I think with the academy being here, makes it a little bit easier. We'll hopefully see a little bit more coming through.
Absolutely. For those that want to start a career in law enforcement, this is a great place to start. You get to start learning the processes. You learn communication skills, especially with those individuals. If you want to move on to become a deputy or a police officer or some other line of law enforcement, you start that career in the jail and you learn those interpersonal communication skills that are hands down as good or better than you can get anywhere.
And you're again with the Yuma County Sheriff's Office. You're working for a great organization.
Absolutely.
We're going to have more about that on opportunities here after we take our break in just a minute. But, you know, some of the stories are difficult to share because you don't want to violate any type of privacy. Mm-hmm. But you've seen a lot of things, and you,
Yeah.
I'm sure some days when you go home at the end of your day, you just think, did I really see that? Did I really hear that?
We do that even in our job, so I can only imagine in your job.
There are definitely days that you are happy that they don't happen again.
Yeah, definitely.
Absolutely.
Definitely.
Well, thank you both so much for joining us today, and hopefully we can get some new detention officers lined up. Mm-hmm. And again, that we're excited that the academy is starting here in just a couple weeks, so we can't wait to see how that turns out. Well, again, thank you so much for talking with us, and thank you for what both of you and your crews do.
Yeah, definitely.
It's not always the prettiest job, but again, it's certainly an essential job, and we need individuals to be there to manage the other side of things.
Exactly.
And if you don't want to see either one of these individuals, stay on the right side of the law. Tales from the Jail on Friday. All right. Thank you so much for joining us.
Thank you.
We're going to take our Village and Pizza Parlor selfie out in the courtyard. We'll be back with more Up Today in Yuma, and we're going to be talking about employment opportunities for other departments from the Yuma County Sheriff's Office. Do you need a fresh start? Allen Barnes & Jones Law Firm is here to help with your bankruptcy needs. Phone or video conference consultations are available. You can call 783-2161 for an appointment.
And Advocate Pest and Wildlife Specialists. They are locally owned and operated, offering general pest control, termite treatment and inspection, pigeon extraction, safe, humane wildlife relocation. And if you go find them on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter, they have their spring giveaway going on. I believe it's 3 fair booklets, tickets, and 3 months of free pest control. So you can find all the details at Advocate Pest and Wildlife on social media.
It's an awesome deal.
It
And again,
is.
good morning, Sandra. And plasma centers are part of the nation's critical infrastructure, and donating plasma today could help others, but also earn you some extra money. Call Telecris Plasma Resources, just voted Yuma's best, at 782-2101 for more information.
And the Arizona Marketplace is now open for the season. Not only do they have lots of vendors, but they also have live entertainment and wine and beer. Check them out Thursday through Sunday at 3351 South Avenue 4E.
And Jack Jackson's also going to be joining us a little bit later here on Today. And you must talk about his shows at Arizona Marketplace.
Sounds good.
We'll be back after the break on Z93 and Outlaw Country.
Thought we were missing somebody on there.
Yeah. Good call. I reminded myself.
Advocate Pest and Wildlife Specialists have been providing pest control service in Yuma for
All right, let's
over
go
20
take a picture real
They're
quick.
the only company in Yuma licensed with Arizona Game and Fish Department for safe, humane wildlife relocation. And they don't require a contract, which gives you flexibility. Advocate Pest offers household pest spray, termite treatment, inspection, and annual protection plans, plus wildlife control like feral cat trapping, snake and skunk relocation, and pigeon extraction. Call Advocate Pest and Wildlife Specialists at 343-9141 or message them on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, or even book on Amazon.
Sprague Sports is Yuma's hunting and shooting headquarters. Why? Because Sprague Sports is the difference. Sprague can buy, sell, trade, and consign firearms with free expert appraisals always. There's nothing like Sprague Sports. And with local price matching, you can buy with confidence at Sprague's. And all Sprague's firearms come with a lifetime warranty.
Hi, Mark. Congratulations on your new job. Hi, Artie.
How are we going to get updates on Sesame?
I'm sure somebody will be taking care of Sesame. I'm sure he left her in good hands.
Oh, have a seat right there. would you like to be addressed?
So my name? I didn't give them your name yesterday because I wasn't sure you were coming. So,
It's Nancy?
Yes.
What's your last name?
Dickinson?
Dickinson?
Yes.
You look so familiar.
What's that? It smells
I
like
grew up in Yuma.
Yeah.
That's probably why.
Did you go to COPA?
I did.
Yeah.
we don't have
What
any.
year did you graduate?
06.
Is it INSON?
Yes.
Because gas lines can be buried anywhere. Shut up. No, speak up. If you ever suspect a
Evie?
leak, call immediately and call
Have you tested chicken's knowledge of egonomics? By exams.
Maybe you're so funny.
Community Farmers Market, benefiting Crossroads Mission. Enjoy the beautiful weather while browsing the booths and supporting community vendors. You'll find fresh
Tanya, you gonna come skate with us on Saturday?
Oh my gosh.
She's gonna watch with me. And Jeff
I
goes,
know.
"What's this? You guys are skating?" He goes, "You didn't ask my permission." And I looked at him and I go,
every Saturday.
"When have I ever asked your permission?" He goes, "Well, I know, but." He goes, "I just like to find out about it on social media."
When you said you were sitting out, I was like, I could do that.
She got on skates. She tried.
I think he just didn't want me on skates, thinking, you know, that I might do what he anticipates I might do.
I just graduated from Southwest Rehab too.
Did you?
Like last week was my last session. Wait, was it last week?
Are you
No, it was
free
on
to
Tuesday.
do
Holy moly.
do what you want?
Yeah,
Within
in
reason.
moderation, yeah.
Is it still tender?
Sometimes, some days.
When it rains,
depends.
does the
Not
weather
yet.
affect you?
It hasn't rained yet, but I have been hearing that a lot. So now I get to test the theory
Oh, yeah.
firsthand.
That's when I feel soccer from high school. There's
Oh.
one of my knees one year, I hyperextended. Didn't break it or anything, but that same knee, when it gets cold and wet, I'm like, oh, I feel that. I feel that. It's been a long time. Evie, that was awesome. I was like, what, are they doing New Kids on the
Yeah.
Block? And then I hear
That's what I
line
thought.
dance. I hear the bagpipes, and I was like, wait a minute.
Nancy, go ahead and pull your
that
microphone
microphone closer, Nancy.
And I talk,
There you go.
I talk kind of loud, so.
All right, here we go.
Welcome back to Today in Yuma. I'm Jennifer.
And I'm Teresa.
Joining us now, also from the Yuma County Sheriff's Office, we have Tanya Pavlak joining us and Nancy Dickinson. Good morning, ladies.
Good morning.
Ooh, in unison.
We
Practice that.
I was going to say,
All
did they
morning.
practice? Because we can't even do that when we practice.
Well, you ladies are going to give us a little bit of the rundown of the hiring process and some of the job openings and upcoming job fairs that the Sheriff's Office has.
Yes. So we actually have quite a few job openings. So we wanted to make sure to let people know that we do have positions available for anyone seeking not only a job, but a career with the Yuma County Sheriff's Office. So that's why I have my HR star, Nancy. I was like, thank you for coming so I didn't have to like brush up on all the HR stuff. But
The HR star.
yes. So she's going to talk about the positions that are available and the requirements for some of the positions, especially like our detention officer positions that we just touched on. So if anybody has any questions, we are going to be available at some of the events coming up. So I'll let her take it away with what we have to offer.
And if you know anyone or you are interested yourself, pay very close attention, but also consider sharing the video, our Sunset Health Facebook Live feed with them so they can come back and watch it later and then they can go apply.
Yes, please.
All right, take it away, Nancy.
So all the information is on the website, yumacountysheriff.org. We have a ton of open positions, not just detention officer. So we have a behavioral health clinician, detention health services manager, LPN, nurse supervisor, detention officer, registered nurse, dispatchers, record specialist, automotive technician, and a senior custodian position.
Literally, there is something for everyone.
Yes, there is definitely.
I think people think sheriff's office and they automatically go to deputy or detention officer.
Yes, law enforcement officer.
Yeah, and so it can be kind of intimidating because it's like, can I really do this?
Oh, definitely.
But you guys are hiring. You need the background staff. You need those. You need those dispatchers. You need the health aides. All those different things. So you literally have something for everyone.
Definitely. It's a lot of support staff that help out the detention officers, help out deputies, so we can make sure all aspects of the sheriff's office is working.
And some people do come in under one position and they find out they're interested in something else. It kind of provides the opportunity for, in some cases, lateral moves, but otherwise things that you kind of aspire to.
Definitely. That does happen a lot. We have people that will move around within different areas of the sheriff's office. We have a lot of people that will start off as detention officers and then make that move to the patrol site.
All right. Well, if anyone is interested, again, you mentioned the website is yumacountysheriff.org. Is there one application process for them to apply for multiple things, or is it a separate application for each job?
So it is a separate application for each position that you are interested in. Depending on the job, we'll determine what the minimum qualifications are, and all the information again is on the website, or you can call the HR line. We can help you.
Now, are there minimum age requirements for certain jobs?
So all the positions minus deputy, you have to be at least 18 years or older. For deputy, you do have to be 21 years or older.
All right. But again, you can be a detention officer at 18?
Definitely, yes.
Okay.
We have had people that have come out of high school and start their career with us.
And some opt to go ahead and do that and then migrate to a deputy position once they're old enough.
Yes, we actually recommend that if you don't have any kind of prior law enforcement experience, that you do start off as a detention officer so you can get those soft skills, you know, with dealing with people and how to, you know, interact and all those things, so you can be a successful deputy.
And what does the background kind of procedure look like for someone who's applying? If they apply today and they're a viable hire, there's things involved. They're probably not going to start tomorrow. It's going to be a little bit longer than that.
Yeah, so that the hiring process typically takes about 3 months from start to finish, really depending on the position you're going for. Obviously, if you're going for a detention officer or a deputy, it is a little bit longer. But typically you'll apply, get an interview. After the interview, they'll determine if you're a good candidate for it, and then you go on from there to conduct your polygraph examination, social networking review, and all that.
All right. Well, just another example of several opportunities right here in the Yuma community where you can both serve the public and also do something rewarding and good benefits.
Definitely, yes. We do have really good benefits. I enjoy my job. I don't know, Tanya likes her job.
I think Tanya likes
I think she does too.
I mean, where does she get to post about goats and stuff like that and have
It's
fun?
it's not all bad. It's not all bad.
You should see the amount of texts of like puns and jokes I get after I post like a stray goat or a stray pig.
And Tanya,
they're not all for me.
let them know your position and
Only
what you
half.
do there.
Oh, my position.
Yes.
Yes, so I am the public affairs specialist. So what I do is I manage our social media. So anytime somebody gets a message from the sheriff's office, that's me. And I do sign it with YCSO Public Affairs, so you know it's me. But I do my research when people ask in regards to deputy stuff or laws and anything has to do with detention. But I also do like our digital content. So any type of videos we have coming out, like I'll probably edit this one and post it to our YouTube channel. So we can find that later. So I do all of our digital content. We did the livestock video. We have a detention recruitment video coming out. And then obviously I am the person to go to speak to the media. So if there's any type of press release that we have coming out, if the media has questions, they can contact me. And that way I could be the person to talk to, without having the deputies having to answer phone calls when they're in the middle of investigations and such.
And your job is literally one of those examples that it doesn't have to be, deputy related or you're in a position with the Yuma County Sheriff's Department, which I like what you do because you tend to bring it out a lot of the fun side of it too. Some of the videos that you post, you really do kind of a little bit of everything. Yeah, we see all the crime and things like that too, but a lot of the stuff that you post, there is a fun side to working in law enforcement. I think a lot of it gets a little bit of a bad rap because people automatically think they're going to be working with criminals, and that's not necessarily the case. You don't really have to.
Yes. So when I applied for this position, they had mentioned that they were going to open it up to somebody who didn't have law enforcement experience, so you didn't have to be in that realm to be able to have this position, because they figured if we do hire a civilian, we'll have that aspect and input from somebody from the outside world. It's still taken me a while to learn the lingo, so to say. So when something is said to me or something I read in reports doesn't make sense to me, I can make sure to translate that into
normal civilian
normal
speak.
people talk.
Because people will send us information for
And we'll
other
need explanations. Well, can you put that in normal speak so we can understand?
If I see something and I'm like, I don't know what that means, and nobody else is going to know either. And so I take that in account with information we disseminate as well, like anything that we post on social media. I find a lot of things very interesting because they're new to me. And if they're new to me because I'm not from the law enforcement world, they're probably new to a lot of people who aren't familiar with that as well.
Most definitely.
So I try to share that information as it becomes available, and I'm like, oh wow, I didn't know that, but a lot of people didn't know that either.
It's a
They're
learning.
like, no, it was just you.
It's a learning process for you too.
Yeah.
Well, we'll be out somewhere, or I'll call and ask my husband a question if it's a weekend and he's having lunch or something, and he'll rattle off like, okay, we're 10-8 or something. I'm like, I have no idea what that means. You need
Do you experience the same thing?
Yes, I think the only code I've learned so far is 10-10. It's a coffee break.
Okay. Is 10-8 lunch? I don't know. I'm not sure.
Available?
I'm looking over to people that might know.
They're like, where's attention?
I do have a cheat code next to my desk because I have a dispatch radio.
Yeah.
So as the codes are coming up and such, I can like look at my cheat code. So I guess I better start memorizing that.
Just in case I put you on the spot again.
I know, right?
Well, you're
Thank
doing
you.
you're
Leave
doing
it to Jennifer.
Yes. You're doing an awesome job, and I bug Tanya a lot, and she has not. She's still new enough where she hasn't said, I don't have time for you.
You're done,
So-
Jennifer.
so
Enough.
I still love you, Tanya. I hope you love me too.
Of course.
Well, again, if you're looking for an awesome career, the Yuma County Sheriff's Office has multiple opportunities available. You might find something that you never knew you could love.
Yeah.
And it just might suck you in. You just never know.
Yeah, so we do post a lot of our job openings, especially the new ones that are available on our Facebook page. They're obviously available on our website, but if you do follow us on social media, make sure to check out our Facebook page. We are on Instagram now, so we've had that account for about a year, and that's where we kind of highlight a lot of the behind the scenes type of stuff that happens at the Sheriff's Office, so you can see what it's like to work with the Yuma County Sheriffs. We do have a Twitter account. We also have a LinkedIn account, and that's where you can find a lot of our professional type of positions available. So we always post our job openings there. We are on Nextdoor, so if you are in the area, because I believe on Nextdoor you have to be in the right neighborhood to be able to
Correct.
get certain
Updates.
posts and updates. So make sure to follow us on there if you're on Nextdoor, and YouTube. We have a YouTube channel. So if you want to
It's a
come
lot
out
of
and check us
fun.
out.
I'm telling
like
ya.
and subscribe. Now, I do love that you showcase a lot of the individuals behind the scenes, because it takes a lot of people to keep that well-oiled machine running, and you get to see some of the faces that you normally wouldn't, and we like that you highlight that and kind of showcase those individuals, because again, everyone is important.
Absolutely.
Well, thank you both so much for joining us today.
Thank you for having us.
All right, hopefully we'll have a low-key weekend. I won't have to bug you.
Nancy, can you give us that website again so they can find the job openings that you have available?
Yes, it's yumacountysheriff.org.
.org.
And
I wasn't
Lisa
sure.
says hi, Nancy.
Hi, Lisa.
Lisa DW says
That's
hi,
all it
Nancy.
says. Hi, Nancy. That's all it says. She's on Facebook.
Well, thank you again both so much for joining us.
Thank you for
Thank
having
you.
us.
We are going to take a quick break. We'll be back with Jack Jackson. He's got 2 more shows at Arizona Marketplace. We'll be back after this on Z93 and Outlaw Country. We're going to take a quick Village and Pizza Parlor selfie out in the courtyard.
Good job, ladies.
Tiana says,
I'm not ready to start my career in radio yet.
Oh, we'll fix that real quick.